I'd like to talk about product pages. And in particular, I want to talk about what one potential issue product pages have. And in order to discuss this, we need to dial back to the creation of a product page or maybe a redesign of a product page, the point at which it comes into existence. Think about the process that we go through to create a product page. The typical process is that the company would go to a designer and say, we are looking to redesign our product page, make us something wonderful. And what the designer will do is they will look at all of the best practices for product pages. They'll look at a bunch of examples of product pages, get your input as well. And based on that, they will design a new product page. Now, this product page is aesthetically beautiful, functional. It has all the bells and whistles that one would expect. It has reviews in the bottom. It has rotating product images on top. It has product description. It has all of these different elements that we've come to expect, and it looks beautiful and it's on brand. And maybe it even loads really fast. And so all of those things have been done. Well, now the marketer comes in or the copywriter comes in and we say, hey, we want you to help us make this page convert. Now, the problem is that the containers for the page have already been created. So I have to now write a description within those containers. Can you imagine how monumentally difficult that is? And if the thesis is that the reason why people buy a product is because the way in which it's described, which is 100% why people buy a product, then we're kind of like doing it a little backwards. We are giving a copywriter a little space in which to work. Now, the alternative is that let's redesign the page. Let's make it super copy heavy or whatever it is that we want to do and redesign the page and then A/B test it. Well, that has problems too. Number one is that redesigning takes time and takes money. When you run it as an experiment, if it's a full redesign, there could be a flicker effect, so there's a performance issue as well. And then of course you have to like keep on redesigning it several times to get to a winner. So our strategy, and I think this is the genius strategy, is to not worry about the design, live with the design that you have, make micro improvements in the design as needed. But the principal idea that I have as a marketer is to see how people are responding to my sales pitch. Because once I find what version people are responding to, I can use that design, I can use that content to redesign the product page. It's a cheap, think about it this way, right? Experiment, redesign, experiment, redesign, experiment, redesign. It's going to kill you by the time you on experiment number 7. However, if I could just focus on showing different sales pitches within the constraints of the product page, then I can find the right winning formula and then apply that formula. Now, the challenge, of course, is that the containers are really small, so I'm still working within constraints. So we have a very clever solution for this, and I just wanted to share that. So what we've got over here is a demo page. And on this page, you'll notice we've added a few subtle nudges. There's a subtle nudge over here. There's a subtle nudge over here. There's a subtle nudge over here. There's also one over here. And there's also one over here. It's in multiple locations. And the idea is that when these subtle nudges have been designed for people that need more convincing. So, basically the way we look at it is that if 4% of people on your product page are converting, I don't want to do anything at all to disturb and distract these people. I'm only interested in having a conversation or persuading people that need more convincing. And so that's the architecture that we use. So we've added these subtle call to actions because I don't want for it to be so heavy where everyone is clicking on it because it's impossible to miss. I want it to be subtle so that only the people that need that information are seeking it out and discovering it. Now, it's also set up as a conditional element, which that means is that when you interact with one, we hide all the other references. And what it does is it maximizes the discovery rate while minimizing the repetition of that content. Now, let's talk about what happens when you click on it. Let's say I click on the bell icon. So it opens up and this sales pitch appears. Now, you'll notice a couple of interesting things have happened. This sales pitch is taking the entire full screen on mobile, and it is using the classic white background with a dark color front copy, the text is even larger. Why are we doing this? Well, we've done this for a number of reasons. Number one is I'm trying to minimize distractions because these people are saying that they need more convincing, which means they're already raising their hand up and saying, I need you to tell me why I should buy this damn product. So I don't think they need a branded experience necessarily. Not to say that that's not a good idea. If you want to insert images, by all means do it, but don't lose sight of the copy. And we've increased the font size because I want it to be more readable. I'm using a white background with a dark color because I don't want there to be any kind of strain on the eye, so I can draw their entire attention to reading the sales pitch. That's it. That's the formula. And you can, through this mechanism, you can test 20 different sales pitches. And once you find the magic combination of words that have this amazing ability of pulling out the user's credit card and inserting it and making them buy, now you can go back and redesign your product page. That's the approach.